So,
Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Mr. P. Sundararajan, Chairman and Managing Director at SP Apparels, joining in. Welcome to the show, Mr. Sundararajan, and always a pleasure to speak to you. Mr. Sundararajan, taking COVID into consideration, how would you actually describe FY21 in terms of performance?
yes, last year by this time, it was the first time ever we faced this lockdown. It was a country-wise lockdown, and we were not prepared for such kind of lockdown. So, really, nobody knew how to handle the situation, and there are a lot of panic things happened. Like migrants. So even the governments from Orissa or Bihar, they got panic, so they wanted all the migrant workers back. So there was a kind of a very paranoid situation last time, and we did not know what to do with that. So all of a sudden we all had to close everything. But one that was a situation, but it was at the same time entire Europe and US were also closed during that time. So it was like something like I always used to say that it is like, for 45 days all of us slept and got up. So there was no big difference except for the loss of sale during those about 2.5 months, like. But that was the situation. Then when it resumed, it was very normal, like where we put the put the pause button, press the pause button, we release the pause button, so everything went on very well. So that was the situation last time. So we were able to revive it immediately in the next two months or so, something, until September we were back to normal. And customers were also able to manage the situation because their stores were also closed. But now, the case is completely different. The second wave, similar to the same period, instead of March, April, it is April, May, something like that. But UK, Europe, and the US, all the stores are open. They've released the lockdown. They have lifted the lockdown. So they are in need of stocks, and sales trading is doing so very well there. But they are in need of stock. But India is locked under lockdown. So what happened? A lot of orders been placed in India, including us. There were huge orders placed during this last about 3-4 months time, and but unfortunately we were not able to manufacture and ship it. That's a kind of a situation. So what is happening now is in Europe, say for example UK, supply chain has been disrupted severely. That's number one. And even by lifting by air, air freighting itself is also a big problem, because number one, space is not available. Number two, it's exorbitant, the charges. So even the customers do not know how to handle the situation.
Right. So with all of this now, how was the capacity utilization overall in terms of where FY21 goes?
FY21 capacity utilization was about 60%.
Okay. And taking the first quarter of FY22 into consideration, now that we again had April, May, which did have a slight impact of COVID, what was the utilization looking like right now?
So around the same. See, we have now what the strength was before the lockdown, second lockdown. So now we are getting back on track now. So probably in next 1 week time, we will be in the same situation where we were just before lockdown. Then onwards, then it will pick up, it will take off. So we will probably be back to the same by, say, let's say by December, our capacity will be ramped up to the time what we had in the FY20. So we will restore the situation by December. That's a scenario we are expecting.
Right. And overall, right now, we know that majority of your business was from exports. Domestic as compared to exports was negligible. But has the revenue breakup changed, taking into consideration the difficulties that we have been facing?
No, it is not. See, because even lockdown was domestic sale also for the retail. So it has also disturbed. It was only about close to 10% of the total business. During the last lockdown, there was lockdown in the retail, all the shops and malls, everything closed. Even this time, the same situation. So the proposition has not changed.
Okay. And overall, if you go to see with regards to where domestic and international export business is concerned, how are you seeing the demand pan out?
See, export demand is very high. It's in a very good position due to the reasons that the kind of pro-India sentiments are happening now as against China, and also there are many countries like Bangladesh. There are lockdown declared, so these things, and not only that, but also some of the customers are they would like to shift some of the business from Bangladesh to India. So India is in the most favorable situation as long as the order flow inflow is concerned. But all depends on the supply chain and the capacity ramping up of the capacity.
Hmm. Okay. And overall, if you go to see, uh, I mean, are we trying to say that in terms of revenues as well, we will get to pre-COVID levels by December?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And so far, Mr. Sundararajan, how has the order book panned out for FY22?
Yes, the order book. See, currently we have the order book. It has been unusually high in the sense. Currently we have the order book of about 325 crores. Normally it used to be 250 to 280 crores. So that's the kind of a situation, which means they placed the orders until September month, from May to September. So it's a longer period and bigger volumes. So only thing is we have to manage increase the capacity to manage these deliveries. So the order book is increasing now.
Hmm. Hmm. And any number that you could give us?
For the
Order
uh,
book?
order book, yeah, 325 crores currently.
Okay. So, and in terms of 325 crores, how much of the order book is from the domestic market and how much of it is from the export market?
No, this is only for the export market. See, domestic is only the retail. Retail, there is no such order book kind of a
Okay,
situation.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And overall, between garment exports, SPUK, and retail, what's the revenue breakup looking like right now?
It's 10% is the retail, and another about another 3% is the UK, and the remaining all it's about say 87% is exports.
Okay. And overall, the company has taken cost cut reduction initiatives as well. And we've seen that the efficiency has improved. Are you expecting this to continue in the future as well?
Yes, very much. See, because uh, we have set up a training center, full-time training center, so where we will continuously upgrade the skills of the existing people. So see what has happened. We already started and up and running in full swing. Suddenly, the second lockdown has come, so we had to put on hold for these training centers. So now probably in the next month by we will start just upskilling the people. So naturally, in the next 3 to 4 months time, there will be a considerable improvement in the skill sets. So the efficiency will naturally improve. That's our full-time job now.
Okay. And overall, what's the kind of revenue growth, bottom line growth, and margin growth that we are targeting for FY22?
So it will be definitely, but so we cannot give you the future numbers. Will be
Correct.
better than the FY21.
Right. And overall, what's the kind of vision that we are looking at in terms of expansion and capacity addition from here on, if you have to look at the next 3 years?
Yes, with regard to the capex, currently, we have only for spinning mills, we have a capex of about 15-16 crores to additional spinnages in the remaining space in the setup. But otherwise, there are no major expansion, the projects for the capex. But expansion will still happen, as we mentioned in the many occasions, that with the existing factories, we are currently using about 60, but we have gone up to about 80-82%. We are trying to increase further by focusing more on HR recruitment and increase the manpower workforce by recruiting them from migrants and homestay people. And so planning for some hostel factories to run 2 shifts. So which means there will be an increase in the capacity, which in turn will give you additional growth in the top line, but without any projects, capex uh, for the growth.
Okay. And overall, any new milestones that we are looking to cross in the next 2 to 3 years?
Yes, Yes, we have some plans in some parallel strategic plans, certain verticals which I cannot discuss now.
Okay.
So which will start one of the strategic business plan what we had is the SP UK. We have a separate entity called SP Apparels UK Limited. It's a separate business and it's a separate business model, which is currently it has done about 70 crores and it should have been 100 crores the last year, but for this COVID lockdown in the Europe. So this year we expect 100 crores of turnover in SP UK. So that is a typical strategy which is not which is an additional business in over and above our existing garment export business. Same manner we have another 2 3 plans, strategic business plans, which will only top up in as an additional business to improve the top line without disturbing our core business.
Okay. And apart from this, overall, if you go to see in terms of the retail business, what's the strategy taking into consideration that we have constant lockdowns happening as well?
Yes, we are trying to push more on the online businesses, but supply chain is still definitely a problem. So we have to go along with the wind now. So what we are currently trying to do once the lockdown is lifted completely, see, this is pan India business. So if it is a lockdown in Tamil Nadu, at least we open up in other states where the lockdown is already lifted. So that we do not have a serious the plan to maneuver the situation because it's the pan India business model where the supply chain is very very important, which is more in and around this Tamil Nadu and Bangalore, Karnataka. So unless and until it opens up, we cannot do anything. Even if we have online business, we push, we have online businesses in Myntra and Amazon's like, but still, unless we have a proper supply chain, we will not be able to do an alternate business to manage the situation. But we make sure that the retail business is at least breaking even during this crisis. That's the plan we have done. Yeah.
And retail business would mainly be Natalia as well as Crocodile, right?
Yeah, Natalia is it's still it is a dormant. It is not really active. So only Crocodile menswear we are doing. Probably we will be thinking of Natalia in the next 6 months time.
Okay. And any idea if we start with Natalia, what's the kind of revenues that we are targeting from there?
No, that's just too early to talk about it. Yeah.
Right. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sundararajan, so much for joining us on the show. Always a pleasure to speak to you. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as well. Thank you. Stay safe and speak to you soon again.
Thank you so much, Hiral. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.